All right, and I just realized my mic has been off the whole time. So, what a great start to our stream we're having, people. Work with me here, please. I am so sorry. It has been a wonderful day, I'll tell you what. All right, so I'll kind of go back over everything that I originally said. Sorry once again for the mic being off. But yeah, so this is not my first time playing through Genshin Impact. This is kind of my second playthrough. Oh gosh, I think I'm AR 57 in my old version. I haven't really played through the full story yet, but I decided that I wanted to go back and kind of go back to the basics and just kind of experience the game again for nostalgia purposes, but also just because I think it'd be a ton of fun just to kind of work through it with someone else and just kind of see how your guys' reaction match up with mine. Um, I picked Lumine because in my personal playthrough, I picked Aether, and I kind of wanted to see like what the differences would be in the story and how it would kind of match up and look. So I decided I was going to do that. And if everyone would give me just a few minutes, I'm going to try and put on drops because I know some people might want to have drops. So just give me a few minutes and I will be right back. I'm not 100% certain, but hopefully they should be enabled in some way, shape, and or form. Uh, yeah, if they're not, then I guess I'm sorry about that. I'm not 100% certain how to exactly do those. But I guess we'll just kind of get right into it and go through the original. Just kind of experience how it goes. And if anyone wants, I have chat pulled up, so if anyone wants to start typing in chat and talking to me, that's perfectly acceptable. I would love to hear some of your guys' thoughts and opinions on this. But yeah, so let's, I guess, continue on. Goodness, I have not. This is such a big nostalgia thing because I haven't done this in so long and happened to like I haven't started a new game. So getting through the tutorial how to walk and run and attack, just something I haven't done in a while. So I know I'm really excited for this. So I really hope everyone is excited as I am. It's gonna be tons of fun. Got teleport points and everything else. I also forgot how big this map is. Oh, this is going to be a great time, and I'm looking forward to this so much. And I guess I should also kind of state in advance that I'm not the like most professional when it comes to setting up characters and everything else. So just I guess bear with me on that. Don't think I'm going to automatically be a professional at setting up artifacts or being an artifact hunter. Just we'll see. I might improve over the course of the series, but and oh, I guess I forgot. Hold on, I might be able to change. I am. Alright, so swap over to English voice acting just to help everyone's eyes and ears. So it'd be a lot easier to just listen instead of having to read and everything else. Oh my gosh, never gets old. The first sight you get of this wonderful, gigantic world. And we're already on our first quest. Let's go. Um, well, that was quite interesting. I haven't seen that one before in my like ever since I started playing. Like, oh gosh, after like a month. What in the world? I don't think I've ever seen that before. That is an interesting characteristic of Paimon. We already have our first map expansion. Oh my gosh, so exciting! Well, and we get our first elemental skill. Oh my gosh. I just love going through tutorials, especially after knowing how to do most of this. And sorry if I'm not talking much. It's just kind of awkward to talk without much really to talk about. That's why I'd love if anyone in the chat wants to kind of talk and just say some stuff back and forth. I'd love to be able to communicate with y'all. I know it'd be on a tad bit of a delay, but I'll also try to respond as fast as I can. I mean, I guess I can kind of talk about some of the stuff I've been looking for and why I'm starting to maybe start streaming now. But I don't know. I've always wanted to stream for a while. It's always been an interest of mine. And then something a couple days ago just kind of set it off, and I was like, you know what? I really should just do it. And just have like a great time. I love being able to have this community of people that I can just talk to and hang out with. And oh, we might have our next cutscene in a few seconds. But yeah, I think it'd be a great time to be able to make a community that would foster this kind of connection. Oh, hold on. And I'll try my best not to spoil anything, because once again I have gone through this at least once, and I don't want to spoil anything in advance. So I'll try not to mention any names, characters. But once again, that one character just kind of dipped out on us, even though it really would have been nice to maybe protect us in some way. So that's cool. But yeah, kind of going back to the connection bit, I'd love to just have the community of friends that I can have, or not even friends, but just being able to talk and just have a great time without having to worry about who we are, where we come from, or anything like that. Hence why I chose the name of the Gaming Roundtable, because if you did not know, King Arthur originally created the Round Table to essentially, as a sense of saying that there's no head of the table, that we are all equals here, which is kind of the community vibe I'm trying to get. It's just for all of us to be able to come together and say, you know what, I don't care who you were in the past or who you were even now. It's just we can all be friends together and hang out and have a great time. And without further ado, I'll try to continue on with the story. But um, and yeah, I will say in advance, I always am very selective with what I pick, because it's always interesting to hear the characters' reactions. But I mean, I don't think dragons in general are typical, but I mean, let's be honest here, it's okay, I guess. Ah, yes, let's go towards the red orb that could very well destroy us in an instant. And thank you in the chat for that wonderful statement. I totally needed that. Ah, yes, this doesn't look intimidating at all. Man, I love getting to Adventure Rank 3 without even having to do anything. It feels great. And always stock up on resources on our way. You'll notice me do that a lot. It's just kind of grab random resources I see along the way. Oh, and we have our first character introduction, besides obviously the character before, but we don't meet them until later. I mean, this is very true. And if y'all don't know, we always pick the emergency food text line whenever and wherever possible because it is always the truth. Yeah, that is kind of very mean. We haven't even done anything to kind of be suspicious, so and if I am correct, I am pretty sure Amber pulled that directly out of the Knights of Favonius handbook. Because I think we get it later on and it exactly says that line. Honestly, I'm trying to let the text grow before we click open the character menu. Okay, there you go. Man, going back to the 2-star only weapons. It has been a while since I have used these type of weapons. Oh gosh. Once again, I just can't get out of the feeling of just looking around and just recognizing that this is a whole new world. One that I've been to before, but not necessarily been to exactly. It just kind of takes my mind back all the way to when I first started the game and just kind of was at all just how wide this world can be truly. Well, first we gotta obviously activate the teleport waystone. But it just feels very mean to just all of a sudden beat up on a random hill that just so happened to be walking by. But I mean, we have to do it for the quest, you know? I just feel like I just feel like that's mean. Like if they're out in the wild, could they just not like just leave them? Like I know they're mean, I know they're gonna hurt people, but like we're just going after them. It just sounds mean. And I guess I can kind of explain with well, hold on, we're going into another cutscene. I felt like we were bullying a bunch of random people, honestly. But I mean, that's fine, I guess. uh, Sorry, I took my eyes. Hello, hot tub slug. I don't speak French, but I'm glad that I would most likely know what bonjour means. I mean, thanks, Kitsune Lunar, for the new Stinky. Don't know what that was for, but alright. I guess now that people are kind of talking more in chat, how is everyone's day going so far? I know my day has been mostly filled with setting up the stream and getting stuff ready for today, but other than that, I think today's been really good. Kind of seeing how everyone else is doing though. And then obviously, whenever possible, I will be activating random waystones just because it makes it easier just to be able to travel and stuff around the world. So I'll activate that, and then yeah, I guess we'll be heading straight into Mondstadt where we will hopefully be meeting a lot more characters. And once again, I will be collecting almost every resource possible so that um, I think we'll leave the side quest for now. We might come back to that later, but yeah, that will most likely be a side quest. And then here are Timmy's pigeons. If people do not know, they are Timmy's, and he gets mad if you scatter them, which I just did. So, and this is the first look at Mondstadt. Oh goodness, I am excited. I am so excited to meet all these characters. It is, oh my gosh, it'll be so much fun. Uh, most likely because you didn't do anything, but you know, it's fine. All right. Yes, I am climbing throughout the city. We could use the streets, but I mean, really, what are you going to do about it? Dangerous, proceed carefully. Um, well, that's always a wonderful thing to see. And sorry if I sped through that. It's kind of muscle memory at this point to just jump off of very high places and just start gliding. Yeah, finally we get a wind glider because, oh my goodness, literally trying to do anything in this game without a wind glider is almost impossible, truthfully. And here we have our next cutscene. I don't think doing a flip is possible. I mean, if you find a way to do that, tell me, and I would be glad to. I also once again do not think that that is possible. Kitsune Lunar. I do not think we can eat Paimon, though I do wonder what kind of delicacy it would be. I'm sure a lot of us are curious about that one, honestly. But I mean, this is tons of fun. We go from an open world game to I'm now in a tech helicopter. So this part of the game is always very interesting because just like it's such an interesting concept of trying to battle a gigantic dragon. I just like to state I must be pretty strong if a dragon just ran away from me. I must be doing something right. Oh, and that seems to be our second character introduction. Yes, the troublemaker. not going to press for more information, but definitely still suspect me nonetheless, which is always a fun time. Um, well, this will be an interesting experience. We finally get to meet the Grandmaster, and we unlock the dressing room at the most wonderful of times. I guess I should just know, beside the wind glider and the outfit, there is not much customization to be done with the characters, but different characters will have customizations once we get there, probably later on into the playthrough of this. If anyone has any questions about what's going on or confused about a few things, please ask. I can try to answer to the best of my ability. Obviously, I'm not going to know everything myself, but I'd love to be able to kind of answer your questions if you have any. I love how we didn't know what the Knights of Favoni's headquarters was. It's awesome. We get to meet two more new characters. I'm glad we're worried about our looks over the fact that like we could just get knocked off the map. Though I don't know what Paimon can do, but you know it's fine. Yeah, we should maybe be told about that. Oh, and we unlock the wish option, which is kind of essentially the main way of getting characters in this game, and then the shop, which that's where a lot of the pay to win aspects can come in. So this is the wish screen right now. Right now they do have two events for some of the newer characters that came out. Like, well, I guess one came out a while ago and one literally just came out. But we'll kind of get into this later. I kind of want to save like wishing for almost like a major time where we can all do a bunch of wishes at once. Since I am mostly a pay to win, or not pay to win, I'm mostly free to play person. So we'll go back to that later. I think next we're just gonna probably start doing some of these quests to meet up at the end. Does anyone have any particular person we think we should go to first, or nobody care? I guess with the chat lag, it's going to be a bit awkward. So I think I'll probably maybe go to this one first, go to the blacksmith. But yeah, if anyone has any suggestions on which quest line you think we should do first, please tell me. I would kind of love to see which one you guys think we should go to first. For me, it doesn't really matter. We have to go to all of them anyways, but I don't know if there's a preference or not. Yeah. So now Paimon can actually fight with us. I mean, that would be nice. I'm glad he took it seriously. And he never stops, by the way, just so everyone knows. He never stops. He just hammers all day, every day. Seems like a wonderful life to have, just never stop hammering. So we'll go out and get these 3 iron chunks, and then we can hopefully get a better weapon. Oh, look, all of the pigeons are gone. I would wonder why with the massive winds and the dragon flying around. One would almost figure, right? Oh, and so with these treasure chests right here, you can use it, let them on fire, and kind of get rid of these like little grassy bits around it. Obviously, we have to let it burn first, and then it'll disappear. But best worker, yeah, that is true. Hammer time, also very true, very true. You just gotta wonder, like, he ever gets vacations or like ever puts out vacations for himself. We're just always like, this is my life. I only hammer. That's it. Collecting iron. Once again, not something I've done in a while, but once again, we're going to collect a lot of these just because we're going to start stocking up resources in case we ever need them. Oh, yeah, ha ha ha. Funny, yay, arson. Yeah, thanks for that. It's very easy to start fires in this game. Whether that's a good or a bad thing, you can decide, but I mean, yeah, just start fires whenever you want. I guess I never did show that Ember does have an elemental skill as well, which is this cute little doll, it's Baron Buddy, and if you don't know what Baron Buddy happens to does is explode. That's about it, honestly. It distracts enemies and pulls enemies in, and then will eventually explode and attract pyro. Will attach pyro to all of them, which can help out in a lot of situations. Which once we get more characters, I can show you a lot more elemental reactions and kind of maybe like explain what they do on some senses. I'm not going to obviously be 100% like this is exactly what they do, but I can kind of help you out understand what all these different elements do and why they're there. Yeah, I mean, we literally just went out. I don't know how you forgot. That's nice. It's so mean. I don't remember what I did. Well, obviously we can't make much, so I'll just make this one for now and just I guess leave it there. Yeah, it is essentially a bomb bunny. I have definitely used it before. It's a nice character. He always seems like he's in a bad mood. I mean, yeah, it's kind of what we said. I mean, one of the whole points of a business is to kind of, get people to like you, but he just does not seem to care, apparently. Um, I think we'll probably go to Kaya's, and then we can get Kaya as a character once we complete the quest. Oh man, it is all the way out there. I can try to teleport here and kind of make it a bit closer, but we'll have to walk all the way there. So, time for a fun little trip. Yeah, I was really kind of looking forward to this. This is a lot of fun. I like being able to hang out with everyone here in the chat, and I guess even look forward to a lot more things in the future. Um, Obviously, once we get a lot more people in the chat, I'll be able to talk a lot more and have a lot more things to say. Right now, it's just a bit awkward with kind of not having anything to say or talk about, but I look forward to it. I think once the story picks up too, it'll be a lot easier because there's a lot more to talk about, and I can talk about the story a lot more. Since right now I'm limiting myself with what I can say, so I don't spoil anything for the future viewers. It is really far out here. I did not remember this. And also, these little stones right here, they normally are just. I've only ever seen like water and wind, but essentially, if you break them, it'll like start making like that element scatter around everywhere. But with this one, obviously, it just has water on a cryo. So these slimes are basically the same thing on these slimes are essentially the same as smaller slimes, except they're just bigger and a tad bit more strong and have like separate abilities. This one obviously had this thing called a cryo shield, which cryo is essentially ice element. And with ice and fire, you can, well, pyro, ice and pyro, you can make melt ability, which will do a lot more damage than it normally would do on its own. We're going to try to get these little shield off first so we can actually start damaging him. And, oh, well, hold on. Oh, and we got a little chest from that. I don't know where this kid's running off to, but they seem to be having a great time. And I also, I guess, haven't shown Amber's elemental burst yet, which I guess we'll get to in a few seconds. Once I guess we can do it with all these hilichurls. And if you see, this hilichurl has a shield, which I guess kind of shows in the new entry. This shield is essentially going to block damage for it, but if we can either burn through it with pyro, it'll break the shield, and so it doesn't have the shield anymore, which will let Baron Bunny take care of that for us. And as you can see, it's kind of burning the shield, and it'll eventually just take it off of it. And then we take a look at Amber's elemental burst as we press Q, and it essentially rains down a bunch of arrows at once. So let's get rid of these, and we'll continue on. And yes, you can collect wood as well. I was wondering how long it took before you can collect wood, so we'll collect a few pieces of wood here and there. Though mostly it's decoration purposes for something later on, so I'm not too worried about it, but we'll still try to collect as much as possible. And we have arrived at our first destination. almost sounds like you were hoping for something lively indeed. That is how the wind works. It normally doesn't disappear. All right, so my first temple is the Temple of the Wolf. So these, if some people do not know, they're essentially called domains, and when you go into domains, they essentially allow you to kind of go through a special little area that you normally wouldn't be able to otherwise. Um, yeah, that's really about all that is to them. But yeah, once we get more characters, this slots will be filled up. Obviously, we do not have any characters right now, but hopefully in the future we'll get more of them. I know we're obviously going to get Kaya after this quest, but I'm hoping for more than just Kaya and Lisa. But I'm looking forward to them at least too. Oh, and we already get to play Kaya. So yeah, Kaya's elemental skill, which I'll show you in a few seconds. And yes, you can also collect more stuff outside of battle too when you're in here. Oh, well, I guess this will explain it. But yeah, Kaya skills can freeze, hide your opponents, or opponents that are wet. Utilize this elemental reaction to gain an advantage over your opponents. And as you can see, there's a little secret bit right here. There's a lot of these normally throughout. They're not like crazy good for wards, but for the first part, we're kind of taking anything we can get, stocking up on resources. But as you can see, they're all sitting here in water, and if I use my elemental skill, will freeze them all. Now, when they're frozen, they obviously can't move, but at the same time, if you were to use a great sword, which is a different weapon that we'll use later on. Oh. Oh. I just can. I mean, don't worry about it, really. I mean, I'm just using it. Just using these skills. It's okay. But yeah, sorry. Oh gosh. I don't even remember what I was saying because of that. But yeah, we're going to keep going throughout this dungeon, kind of stocking up on resources as we go. A flamethrower's core is what gives us energy to shoot fire. Yeah, these are tons of fun. I don't think these ever really are used a lot. I think it's just for this to kind of show off Kaya's elemental skills. But yeah, they're not used much. And also with slimes, they normally always have an attribute attached to them. Obviously, these are Hydra, so they can be frozen. But I guess now we have to wait until the skill turns back on. And once we can, I'll show you Kaya's elemental burst as well, so we kind of can see that as well. Oh, it's the first time I used a wind current. With wind currents, you can use your wind glider and kind of just fly up on them. It's really about it for that. They'll be used a lot actually later on in the story and everything else, so we'll see them more often. Blue stone at the center of the room is a Hydra Amber. Breaking it will make it rain, making everything in its range wet. Which is something we did come across that right before we entered the Temple of the Wolf with the Cryo Slime. Or not Cryo. Yeah, Cryo Slime. So we'll do that, and essentially it'll put out the Pyro Slime, which kind of stops a lot of its attacks. It also means we can freeze. And if you haven't noticed so far, there's like multiple stages of chests. The precious chest being one of the better chests. So far we've come across